we are confronting something that's kind of been bugging me lately, and that is the idea that men just want sex.
Fair enough.
And considering the amount of testicle talk in the beginning of this episode,
Well, I should have guessed this would go somewhere like this, because goddamn.
I think it's rather appropriate.
Goddamn.
Of some people that do want wham bam, thank you ma'am, or whatever else, men and women and everything in between, to be fair. I'd rather have somebody to build a life with and actually like that companionship rather than just physical gratification.
Oh, 100%. One night stands are garbage.
You've probably not got much time and everything else. You might be happy with wham bam, thank you ma'am, or whatever else, but that's not for everyone.
No, definitely. A small percentage doesn't necessarily mean that it's not going to be spoken about the most. It's also how men are portrayed in things like films and stuff like that as well, right? It's a very stereotypical thing. Do I enjoy partaking? Yes, you damn right I do. But that's because I actually have a steady relationship, so it's a lot more fun to me because you learn a lot more and there's a lot more connection. But men are more simple than some other species, I guess.
There's different strokes for different folks. Like, did that one get you, bro? I'm sorry. Everything's going to tickle people differently, so don't just assume that you know what's going to fit, because everybody's different.
Did you know? It's time for Big Dave's Did You Know?
Is it really?
Yeah, it is, man.
Did you know? I'm actually going to quickly hijack it this week.
No, you're not, bro.
I am.
I'm going to come in, I'm going to hire you, bro.
No. Simply because, bro, this one, I could not wait to tell you.
Oh, no.
Did you know there was once an unqualified doctor in a San Quentin prison that performed over 10,000 testicle transplants from either dead bodies, animals of various species, in hopes of rejuvenating life and correcting basically like mental disorders and everything else, because he thought that there was a heavy link between the chemicals emitted from the testicles and like serial killer tendencies and all of those like mental illnesses basically. And he got an award for it. He had no qualifications, may I like reiterate. So unqualified. And he was using animal testicles as well as deceased men's testicles
Oh,
in
no.
hopes to rejuvenate people's health or youth and age.
I mean, bro, I think people kind of forget this, but how do you think we got a lot of modern medicine? It was with absolutely crazy things like that.
Bro, this was in 1889 or something, but he
Yeah.
went on to like 1920 or 1912 or whatever.
Yeah, but that kind of era was where most of what is modern medicine was being tested. Like, people don't like it, bro, but, you know, when the Germans were bad, a lot of the stuff they were testing kind of became medicine. And, like,
Yeah.
we forget about it, but it's like, I didn't know, and it's wild. But it's probably not surprised, because it's like, how did we get to these points anyways? You know what I mean? Someone had to do something absolutely balmy before the books were invented. They had to do something nuts to be like, well, how does this work?
But bro,
Like, Viagra originally was a heart medicine.
100%. Like, I understand that we found a lot of stuff through experimentation and everything else, but 10,000 pairs of testicles!
Yeah, that's a lot of testicles.
And hold up, no. It's 20,000 because you're swapping.
Individuals. Yeah.
No.
Are we talking
20,000?
Are we talking one by one, or are we
No,
talking
that would be 40,000. It's 20,000 pairs. That's a lot of testicles.
That's a lot of balls.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry, what was yours?
I don't think there's a point.
I actually still want to know yours, but
I mean, one of them was actually a medical thing, which is that, you know, when they do kidney transplants, typically they leave the kidney in, the one that's dead.
Oh yeah.
Unless it's actually going to like cause like harm to life. There they go. So there's people walking around with 3 kidneys out there.
Well,
even though they've got a transplant.
2 kidneys and a shriveled one. Just one in there looking like a raisin, all shriveled up. Yeah, I'm just proud to be part of the gang.
And the other one is more anagram based, but it just kind of made me go, which is that the letters in 11 plus 2 can be arranged to spell 12 plus 1, and they give you the same answer.
Again, that's like one of those things where you find out, like, it takes 32 fruit pastels to choke a kestrel or something, where it's just like, who spent that much time?
Is it bad when you said kestrel? I immediately thought of the tramp drink. Welcome to the big city, baby.
Who spends their time figuring these things out?
I just thought it's
Never.
cool that you can rearrange those letters and get basically the same answer from two different equations. Pretty cool.
Fair enough. Are you ready for a hypothetical?
I mean, I think we already peaked at 40,000 bulls.
Again, kind of appropriate and kind of relevant.
No.
But what's Dave's opinion on cybernetics? We're entering the future. Things are becoming far more tech-based.
To be quite honest, what the hell does that word even mean?
Basically, like tech enhancements. So would Dave get bionic arms, bionic legs,
Oh.
brain implants, eye implants?
It's a slight tangent, but one of my favourite stories this week was a football coach who got fired because he was quite loudly online advertising that he was very proud of his prosthetic penis.
See? And that wouldn't have been possible without some previous experiments.
Revolutionised his life, but he lost his job.
Hey, I mean, I guarantee you there's a new industry out there for him to slide right into.
Believe that. Interesting. I mean, I wouldn't say I would be against it. I guess it's one of those things where you'd be cautious about how far it goes and how mental things get, but...
And this is the thing. So, like, how much do you take away before you're no longer you?
I think your soul is still
on the
you,
back
though,
end,
right?
But then, where's your soul contained? Do you know what I mean? Like, if you swap your heart out, okay, you're still going around, you're still you. If you swap your brain out...
Oh, no, you're not you if you ain't got a brain.
But then if you've still got the same thought process and personality and everything else...
Yeah. I mean, I guess I'd be kind of for it at the moment. I mean, based on where we are, like I know someone who had cybernetics put into their spine, and that kept them walking basically because they had like a really bad bike accident.
Elysium.
Then
That's a thing.
that kept them basically going, which was pretty interesting. I'm just thinking what you could do for things that are like basically you can't really save, things like eyesight, hearing, stuff like that would be like pretty interesting.
A lot of the eyesight stuff, I think they're starting to find ways to save and either find like workarounds for.
Because those things are like permanent. When they're gone, they're
even
gone.
then, you've got on the back end of that, like, do you know the game Ruin My Wish?
No.
It basically like one person dreams of a wish, like, or they make a wish towards a genie, and then you can grant their wish, but you have to ruin it at the same time. So, for example, you wish for X-ray vision. Cool, you've got it, but you can never turn it off. So now, imagine...
That'd be so annoying. I mean, the worst one would be like, yeah, you got invisibility, but you'll never be visible again. Like, what? Like, oh, you'd be stressed.
Either that or...
Podcast would look great, wouldn't it? You just hear me talking, which wouldn't see me. Just see a dent in the chair, be like, oh, he's definitely there.
The hologram. Oh, yeah. Right. Should we go get into the episode?
I'm just thinking of all the hypotheticals about that one scenario about being invisible. You're waiting for your whole life, but then you can't turn it back off.
Yeah.
Like, imagine how rough you're like. There'd be a lot of pros, but there'd be a lot of negatives.
Or imagine every time you turn invisible, but then like 1 inch of your body would always remain visible. But it would be a random inch.
It's like you're doing your weekly shop and you're like, yeah, I don't have to pay for things anymore. But your helmet's on the show. It's just a floating helmet through the store.
Yeah.
Random package applications.
But that random inch that's on the show just moves. So like sometimes you might have your nose just floating through the air, or freaking just a straight big toe walking down the road. Yeah, we're gonna play that game sometime, and it's gonna be rather fun. Yeah, should we go get into the episode?
Yeah.
What's going on, beautiful people? This is the Perspective Chasers podcast. I'm your host, John.
And I'm some guy
named Dave. And today we are confronting something that's kind of been bugging me lately. And that is the idea that men just want sex.
Fair enough.
And considering the amount of testicle talk in the beginning of this episode,
Well, I should have guessed this would go somewhere like this, because goddamn.
I think it's rather appropriate.
Goddamn.
But again, like, I do think it's one of those things that
They don't. I'm asexual. That's wrong.
Oh my Jesus.
Quickest podcast done.
No.
I'm not asexual. But fair play if you are.
I mean, you do you, boo. But again, like, I think it is something that is just kind of misconstrued in society, in that, like, yeah, there are kind of some people that do want wham bam, thank you, ma'am, or whatever else, men and women, and everything in between, to be fair. But again, it's one of those aspects where everybody gets tarred with the same brush.
Mm-hmm.
Now, take somebody like myself, for example, or whatever else. I ain't got time for freaking various one night stands, and that it all sounds like effort. So that's not me. Like, I'd rather have somebody to build a life with and actually like that companionship rather than just physical gratification.
Oh, 100%. One night stands are garbage. Absolute garbage. Like, Jesus Christ. Yeah, no.
But that's the thing. So then why is it still so much, at least it seems it's put out there so much that that's all that men want? Like, bearing in mind, like, most of the guys that I talk to or know, they ain't like, everybody knows a kind of player or somebody that just beats around. Do you know what I mean? Like, but that's far less of the people than you think. Do you know what I mean? Like they often say about, it's, what is it, like 10% of men that are with whatever percent of women or whatever else. Like, they always go for like the higher earners, this, that, and everything else, and all of that stuff. But then, really and truly, like that's the kind of people that they attract in that sense. Like, if you are a high earner, you've probably not got much time and everything else. You might be happy with wham bam, thank you, ma'am, or whatever else. But that's not for everyone.
No, definitely not.
So I don't know. Yeah, I just want to like hear it from your point of view as well. Like, obviously, you've had far more relationships than I have. I mean, that sounds a lot worse on Dave than it actually is, but
yeah, not to say it's really not that many.
shouldn't have said far, but but like, again, you've been in that dating scene more. So, what were your thoughts on it? Like, what was you looking for when you was out there dating? Was it just I want to get my rocks off, or I want to find something deeper?
I mean, ultimately, it's always something deeper with me. Like, I prefer to build connection over one night stands. I've never been a fan of one night stands personally. I mean, if that's your thing, then fair enough. But for me, they just don't work. Like, I don't know enough about you for this to be enjoyable for me. It doesn't. That's not how I'm wired.
See, before I had little one, yeah, again, if I've got an itch to scratch, I don't mind scratching that itch or whatever else. But again, like, once you've got a busy life and you've got to go around at this and that, like, even hearing some of your stories and other mates' stories over the years and that, like, I'm just like, man, that sounds like effort. Like, seriously.
Yeah.
So, like, and then for just one thing as well. Do you know what I mean? Like, once you've got that gratification, okay, cool, you want to call yourself a cab, or, you know what I mean? Don't let your door hit you on the wall.
I found very rarely that anyone that I was kind of speaking to or dating wasn't really interested in one-offs anyway. Most of them were looking for something more.
So
I actually found it kind of objectively more difficult to be like, yeah, I'm just kind of casual, see you later. It's never really worked.
So then why is it, again, obviously we're only freaking two guys out of freaking how many or whatever, but I'm still trying to unpack like why it is so perpetuated. Do you know
I guess
what
it would just be perception of what you see, I suppose, right? Like, a small percentage doesn't necessarily mean that it's not going to be spoken about the most.
Yeah, like obviously like
And
the worst
also,
news travels the
but
fastest.
it's also how men are portrayed in things like films and stuff like that as well, right? It's a very stereotypical thing. Like, in most films and stuff like that, it's normally the dude that's doing the cheating. There's probably examples where women do it, I'm sure. I'm not the biggest movie person in the world, but that's typically how things would be portrayed, right? So I think it's more of a portrayal thing than an actual understanding thing. I don't think most normal people would just assume that just men just want sex.
I mean,
I think that's something that's just perpetuated.
I think as well, like men are obviously like visual creatures and that, so attraction does obviously get you in the door in terms of like interaction and that. But again, it doesn't keep you there. Like we've even like go back to the ick episode. Like if you slap your guns and you're beautiful, get out my house.
You just went from 10 to 0.
Like, if you're beautiful and you've got a high-pitched, squeaky voice,
Bye.
I'm sorry, no.
Bye.
Like, there are
As I said on that
criteria.
episode, where a good voice can go a long way.
Yeah.
It's just what. Mm-mm.
Like, yeah. I couldn't, if you've got an incredibly low IQ, I'm sorry, I can't.
Yeah, you got to be able to hold conversation, man. Like, gotta be doing that.
Yeah.
You don't need to be Einstein.
No, no, no,
Definitely
no.
don't want you to be Einstein, quite frankly, because I don't want to do that to a call. But you got to have enough common sense in that about you that you can hold decent chat. Like, imagine coming home to your missus and having dinner and there's no combo, there's no chat because they just, hi. Ugh. Ugh.
Yeah, now I
You'd be going home
really,
every day just thinking, I'm going to Kurt Cobain this.
yeah, I couldn't come home to no conversation, no mental stimulation. Like, could you imagine, like, trying to de-stress about your day or just talk about anything?
And
And
you
then,
just get, oh.
or worse than that, you sit there, you just get the dial-up tone. So this is what I'm saying. Like, even if you are beautiful, it's only going to get you so far in life. Like, those looks are going to fade in that. And there will be some shallow dudes that will never see beyond looks or whatever else. They just want arm candy. But I think that's a small percentage of men. But yeah, it's perpetuated across the max.
Petrol.
It's
I guess the other parts that are probably at play would be how men and women are wired, just from a genetic and a hormonal level. We're very different beings.
100%. I do think there is
Don't mean
like,
this in a horrible way, but I think a woman is a lot more complicated hormonally than a man is.
well, yeah, because as well, you've got to think like the
We are
consequences.
quite simple beings.
Yeah, but the thing is as well, like the consequences of that interaction for men and for women are two completely different things.
Completely different.
Do you know what I mean? Like, if a woman gets pregnant after that act, she's got not just 9 months of body being put through God knows what and this, that, and everything else, but then she's got to look after that child.
Ironically, I had this conversation with someone the other day, right? Because they were quite surprised at how hardwired humans are to basically procreate. They're essentially, even though we're very advanced in terms of civilization as humans and thinking and doing, we're still actually really, really basic from where we're coming. Yeah, super primitive. We want to breathe. And humans are hardwired to have children. Like,
this is
you
the
think
thing.
about how a woman goes through their cycle. That is how they are. Literally, you're not pregnant? Punished. A week of suffering. That's literally what they said to me. They are a woman. And I was just like, God damn it, I never thought about it that way. Every month. Oh, I'm in a lot of pain and everything's going, everything's being destroyed. Yeah. Because you didn't have kids. Whereas, man wakes up every morning, most men wake up every morning with one thing. And it's like, go do it, my son. It's like, no, bro, I gotta go to work. No! This is not real work. Real work. Make family. It's like, no, dude, there's no one here. I'm going to work. Make family. Like, no, make family with tissue. Okay.
Oh my.
So I guess when you think, as I said, like, if you break it down like that to me, as I said, both male and female are designed to do that. This nature, it has been since kingdom has come. So I guess for a man, it's a lot more simple, right? Again, you both share consequences, but we don't have to grow the thing inside of us, right?
Yeah.
So I guess that's part of where the probably perception would come from as well, the stereotype of it as well, is we wake up ready. You probably go to sleep ready. There's probably part of your day where it's like, ooh,
Ready.
Ooh, that coffee really makes you want to have the sun. Like, so when you have that kind of perception, it's kind of easy to go, oh, I just want to have sex all the time. No, it's just generational curse, but I'm designed to do that.
See, the thing is,
there are times where I actually don't want to be quite frank. There are times where I'm happy chilling. There are times where I'm happy doing something else. Like, I'm not thinking about that right now. It's like, girl, I've had a lot of questions in my was.
He's lying. It's definitely not. Do you really want to go there? You really don't want to poke the bear? This is where I get all of that footage back up. Right. This is the thing. I've been having a similar kind of thought process in terms of like, you've got that, like primitive mind where it's just like, spread your seed. And then you've got the societal mind of like, you've got to take care of that and da 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 da. Again, like if you're a deadbeat or whatever else, it literally just be seed, 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 bye. But because we live in society, there's consequences, there's different like societal norms and expectations and everything else. But then, funnily enough, I see something about this. There's a guy, and as always, I can't remember his name, but he's got this thing about a term called the Weird West, and weird stands for something. I think it's like westernized, industrial, blah 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 blah. But basically, he goes on to say how we rely on the government, whereas in the Eastern world, they rely on family and kind of their close network, whereas we've kind of destroyed that family network where we are, and we rely on the government and various other organizations to support us.
Fair.
Whereas in a lot of the Eastern world, if you lose your job or you lose your house or whatever else, cool, come stay with me, cousin, or whatever else. Where if you do that here, it'd be like, what? Why is your cousin living with you? That's weird.
Yeah.
So just that, like everybody needs that support structure and that support network. So now, if you was, say, again, this is just talking from outside of the box, but if you was in that Eastern world and you had a kid, they wouldn't have one grandparent, they wouldn't have two grandparents or three or four. They would probably have 10 or more. Like they would have a lot of people whether they be blood related or not, that they look as an elder. But we don't have that so much. Like there may be little drips and drabs of that through our society and that, but it's nowhere near as prevalent as it is in the Eastern world.
No.
So again, like it changes the whole dynamic of life realistically and the whole kind of outlook of life.
True.
So yeah, I think it all kind of plays in various aspects as to like why it's depicted that like men just want wham bam thank you ma'am, to kind of bring it back round onto topic.
I mean, ultimately, I would say like my final point would be it's just a bit of a lazy stereotype, I guess. And there's loads of those throughout life, but
Yeah, I
it's
mean,
easy for me to say as a man, but at the same time, it's easy for me to refute it as a man. Because do I enjoy partaking? Yes, you damn right I do. But that's because I actually have a steady relationship, so it's a lot more fun to me because you learn a lot more and there's a lot more connection. But men are more simple than some other species, I guess. But we're also quite complicated. We're quite layered. Like I think most men, yeah, they enjoy that, but also like they value the idea of the home more than that. They value the idea of the actual connection in the building and the kind of long term of it. And they actually have a lot of probably ambition. They probably have a lot of things they want to do.
that's the thing. So there's a lot that comes with companionship that's far beyond the physical. Do you know what I mean? Like whether it be like somebody's empathy or somebody's tender loving care or various just having somebody to sit in the poop with. Do you know what I mean? Like there's various things that make people valuable to each other. And I just think having something that's perpetuated so much like that devalues it in the world. Do you know what I mean? And like anything, there is the same on the flip side. Normally it's like women just want money or whatever else and shit. And okay, cool. There are, as always, going to be some people that's true for, but it's not going to be true for the majority of them.
No.
But if we keep perpetuating these stereotypes and just tarring everybody with the same brush, we ain't getting no better. The problems ain't disappearing. So why do we keep perpetuating them? It does nobody no favours.
No.
Anyway, I think we'll wrap this episode up there because my coughing has been a nightmare as it is. And yeah. But no, I do think it is interesting to think about. Do you know what I mean? And if you are a guy watching this, ask yourself, what is it that you want and why? If it is just physical or if it's something more, do that kind of like backstopping yourself. And if you're a woman thinking that all guys want is something to bury it in, you're wrong, because there's different strokes for different folks. Like, did that one get you, bro? I'm sorry. Everything's going to tickle people differently, so don't just assume that you know what's going to fit, because everybody's different. And the seed for this episode
Oh boy.
It's going to be try challenge some of your preconceived notions, some of those stereotypes, some of those things that you think are unanimous. Try actually intentionally prove yourself wrong. I think you'll probably find it easier than you might think. There's going to be a lot of things that argue both sides of the fence. So look at both sides of the fence. Other than that, all the best, and we'll catch you on the next one.